as I'm sitting here watching the NFL Network, of course they break in with live footage of Carson Wentz arriving in Indianapolis. And they're asking the question, well, what's the next shoe that's going to drop for the Philadelphia Eagles? I can tell you what it is. It's Zach Ertz. Trade talks, trade speculation is heating up for Zach Ertz, and it's only a matter of time before we say goodbye to number 86.
Kick the red, double moonwalker on the red.
Dallas still stinks. You're right the way, King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's still having a great day. I hope you guys are doing well. Before I start this video, let me just apologize. Over the course of the last hour or so, I started to lose my voice. I don't know if it's from all the screaming over the last 2 days or what, but I've been losing my voice. So I apologize if it sounds like it's going out. But however, speaking of going out, it is just coming out now that DeSean Jackson will be released from the Eagles. This is no surprise. This is something the Eagles have to do for cap reasons, okay? Now, I don't know what his exact cap savings number is. I did look on overthecap.com, and they have DeSean Jackson being a $5.8 million dead money hit and then saving the Eagles $4.8 million in cap space. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what it says. But regardless, DeSean Jackson is gone. Alshon Jeffrey, I expect to follow. We're going to see a lot of turnover on this team. It's just going to happen. So, my whole thing with DeSean Jackson is I always liked DeSean Jackson. I was very excited to have him back. And for one game against Washington, it was great. It was what we expected. Then he got hurt all year. And then, last year he was hurt and he's just not the same. He's just not the same guy. He's too old. This is something we have to do. I wish DeSean Jackson well, and it is what it is. So this is no surprise, okay? DeSean Jackson is gone. Now, earlier I was watching NFL Network, right? And I'm watching NFL Network, and all of a sudden, I have to thank them because they helped me to have this whole trade sink in, okay? The Carson trade, that is. I'm watching NFL Network, and then they break in the live coverage. And on the live coverage, they're showing a plane. And the plane is coming down and it's landing, right? And then the plane circles around, and they push the stairs to it, right? And I should say this plane is landing in Indianapolis, okay? So the door opens and you hear boom, 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 and the camera's shaking and the plane's shaking, the steps are shaking, and out comes a man eating a Twinkie, and it's Carson Wentz, and he's eating his Twinkie every step, every bite, every step, every bite. And the stairs are shaking, the plane's shaking, the earth is shaking, and believe me, as a fat man, I know when it feels like when a fat man's making the earth shake, and the man's eating a Twinkie, and then, then as he's getting down, the security guy's trying to run a napkin to him, right? And instead of running straight, because the earth's shaking, he's running sideways trying to hand him the napkin, but he can't hand it to him until Carson stops. And then when Carson stops, the earth stops shaking. The scent of bacon from his legs rubbing together or going all over the place. He gets a napkin, wipes his face, his hands, he gets in the car and he goes. He's done. Where the hell's my drink? I don't have a drink. But anyways, so Carson, he gets in the car, he's going to visit his team. And at that point, I realized Fat Man's gone. And it sunk in. So I've accepted the trade now. I'm over it, okay? I am going to miss saying, run, Fat Man, run. That was kind of fun. But he is gone. And the only reason I bring this up is because while they're showing this, they're talking on NFL Network, and they're talking about what's the next shoe to drop for the Philadelphia Eagles. And obviously that's easy to answer. It's Zach Ertz. The Eagles are going to trade Zach Ertz or release him, one or the other. And I expect this to be the next big move. Besides the DeSean Jackson getting cut, but that was expected. Sorry about that. I had to pause it. I had to get a drink. I'm losing my voice, and that little Carson to Indianapolis thing probably didn't help it. But what we were saying about Zach Ertz, he's probably the next shoe to drop. He wants to get out of there or out of Philly by March. He wants this thing resolved before free agency start. So does his agent. And I'm sure the Eagles do too. So I expect Zach Ertz to be really the next big shoe to drop when it comes to what the Eagles do next. And here's the thing. Zach Ertz is one of the Eagles' greats. He helped us win a Super Bowl, caught the game-winning touchdown. You got to love him for that and all those things. However, he's 31 years old. He's coming off injury. You have Dallas Goedert. You're in cap hell. So, yeah, he's going to go. There's no question about it. It's just a matter of where is he going to go, and do the Eagles get anything for him? Truthfully, I'm going to be honest. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know last December, after the contracts between him and the Eagles broke off, I was saying, you got to trade Zach Ertz this offseason. This is the time to do it while his value is high. And they should have. And if Howie Roseman, if he was a GM that was thinking about not just the current time, the current year, but the next few years, he would have made that move, and we would have gotten, I think, like at least a second-round pick for him, maybe more. Who knows? I don't know. But Zach Ertz, his value was at the peak. Now we're in a situation where you got to wonder what the Eagles can get. I would love to get a third or fourth-round pick, but I don't know that that'll happen. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem the Eagles have right now with Zach Ertz. There are teams interested. No doubt about it. However, they also know that if the Eagles can't trade him, they'll cut him, and then they can just sign him then. So they'll play that waiting game. A few years ago, if you remember, they did that with Nick Foles. The Eagles were going to have to release him, and teams, they called about trading for him, but nobody did, because they just waited for him to become a free agent. And that's what I'm afraid. That's what I'm afraid we're going to see with Zach Ertz. But, I mean, we'll have to see. We know Seattle has been in contact with the Eagles. Indianapolis has been in contact with the Eagles. Matter of fact, there was talk that the Eagles were going to put Wentz and Ertz in a trade package and send to Indy. What I heard was the Eagles didn't like that because they felt like they were making Zach Ertz like a throw into the trade, and he wasn't a throwaway player. So the Eagles decided not to do that. Now they're going to shop him and see what they can get for him. We got to hope there's a bunch of teams interested, and a team doesn't mind giving the Eagles something just to secure him. That's what we have to hope. He has 1 year left on his contract with the Eagles for like $8.5 million, but he wants a new contract, and he wants to get paid handsomely. So it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Seattle called about him. The Colts called about him. And then we got, I think there's new reports saying that the Chargers, I want to say San Diego Chargers, but I'm not. The Los Angeles Chargers, and the Los Angeles Rams both have inquired about Zach Ertz, with the Chargers, I think, showing the most interest. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of these teams would be willing to give the Eagles a pick. If we could get a third or fourth round pick, I would be super happy. But I think most people think if they get anything, it's going to be a day 3 pick, which, it sucks. It sucks that we have another guy who we've just don't have any trade value for and don't have any leverage, because teams know we have to cut him because of the cap situation we're in. So we'll see what happens. My hope is that they can at least get something for him. He's got to go. You got Dallas Goedert. Kyle Pitts is an option at 6. I would love to get him, and I think it's time. And I think Ertz wants somewhere else. I think he wants that big contract, one more payday. The question is going to be where. And let me say this too real quick, because last week we were talking about getting Ertz and packaging him with Andre Dillard. I still would love to see that, okay? I would have no problem with that. And if it gives you more value and a higher pick, then I'm all for it. What could they get? I don't know. But I don't think the Eagles will do it. But at left tackle, we do have an interesting dynamic, because you have Mulata and you have Dillard. And what happens if a guy like Penny Sewell drops? So I think I would trade Dillard, or I would try to move him inside to guard if he can. And then I would keep Mulata at left tackle, or Sewell if I could draft somebody like that. But the truth is I don't know what you get for Ertz by himself, but the trade market is heating up. Teams are calling. We've got at least 4 so far, and the team like the Patriots or somebody like that may be interested as well. So keep an eye on that. That probably most likely is the next shoe to drop. And I hope the Eagles can get something for him, because I would hate to see Zach just get cut and then wind up going somewhere and the Eagles get nothing for him. That would be a crying shame. But we're going to have to see how it plays out. Zach Ertz, next big move to drop. DeSean Jackson, he's been released. And then Carson is now in Indianapolis. So things are happening. I think we're going to see a lot more of this, of guys departing the Eagles, and it should be interesting. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Don't be a dingbat. I'm sorry, but my voice is about to go. So I'll see you guys later. Don't be a dingbat.